Hi, and welcome to our second video of Here's Looking at Euclid, broadcasting from the beautiful shoreline of Greenwich, Connecticut today. In the first video I explained the importance of studying Euclid, why it's important to study Euclid. So this video I'd like to explain what we're going to be doing exactly. So the first thing is we're going to go over the definitions, common notions, and postulates of Book 1. Book 1 is principally about triangles and parallelograms, and it culminates in the famous Pythagorean theorem. Of course, we all know the Pythagorean theorem: the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides in a right triangle. And then we prove the converse of that as well. And that's how Book 1 of Euclid ends. The second book is a very important book. It is foundational for algebra. It's the geometry of algebra. We show the distributive property geometrically. We prove the quadratic equation, which is, again, finds its foundation in geometry. We also, this is in Book 2, Proposition 11, cut a line in a mean and extreme ratio, which is the proposition that explains the famous golden ratio. And I'll have a lot more to say about the golden ratio in another video. It's an incredible ratio we find everywhere in nature. And also in that book, we discover the geometric foundation for the law of sines and cosines in trigonometry. So that's really, really exciting. And the book ends with a construction. We're able to construct a square equal to any polygon, any quadrilateral. So Book 3 is all about circles and the properties of circles. And there's some really fascinating theorems about circles that you would never think were true. For example, if you were to inscribe an angle in a semicircle, that angle is always a right angle. So we prove that in the third book of Euclid. The fourth book is all about inscribing and circumscribing polygons in circles and about circles and the properties of those polygons. So that's really exciting. The fifth book is all about proportionality, an incredibly important concept to understand. We find it everywhere in all the sciences, proportionality. And then the sixth book, we apply what we learn in the fifth book to figures, and those will become similar figures. So, and that's really fascinating. And what's really cool that nobody really understands or is really exposed to in modern geometry is that in the sixth book, we prove what I call the universal Pythagorean theorem. So it's not only true that the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides in a right triangle, but it's true that any figure that's described on the hypotenuse is going to be equal to the sum of the areas of the similar and similarly situated figures on the legs of that right triangle. So that is an awesome truth that we'll show when we get to Book 6. And again, I call it the universal Pythagorean theorem. So there's a lot of exciting things we're going to do. I appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel below. I'm trying to spread the word to the world how important it is to study Euclid. So that's our goal. We're going to do that together. Thank you.